Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee.
But and check it out. I'm going to send you to a people that I know is going to reject you and not listen. That means if this truth was for any other people first than Israel, we would be in the kingdom right now. Christ would have returned. Read on.
Verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me.
He says, listen, they will not listen to you because they won't listen to me.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I'll try to help. Listen to me. I'll try to save you. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'll try to save you.
Why won't you hear me out? Please just listen to me. Your soul's on the line. Understand I'm trying to save you. You constantly pushing me distant, man. Just listen to me. You treat me like your enemy, man. I'm trying to help you. Why won't you hear me out? Please just listen to me. Your soul's on the line. Understand I'm trying to save you. You constantly pushing me distant, man. Just listen to me. Why won't you listen to me, man? I'm trying to save you.
I heard a voice up in the distance. It said, I looked around and see nobody. They would listen to me. See, that's that voice you hear when you know they hate. Just pay attention.
I'll try to save you.
In the Hebrew community, there's a shade tree. More than that, you know a name. Simply amazing. Shout out to Akaraka. See, he gave Shai the scripture. Shai gave me the scripture. Now I see things clearer. I give it from the gutter so they
listen to me.
I don't be coming over righteous like I'm
trying to save.
Some Hebrews call my music pagan. They don't
listen to me.
But I'm just trying to do the work. Look,
I'm trying to help.
But I just find out most of these Judas is bullshit too. So I go to the lie sheep and tell them we the Jews. And the Judas that I'm telling, man, they ghouls too. It's over for you nonsense Hebrews.
Why won't you hear me out? Please just listen to me. Your soul's on the line. Understand I'm trying to save you. You constantly pushing me distant, man. Just listen to me. You treat me like your enemy, man. I'm trying to help you. Why won't you hear me out? Please just listen to me. Your soul's on the line. Understand I'm trying to save you. You constantly pushing me distant, man. Just listen to me. Why won't you listen to me, man? I'm trying to save you.
On the last hour and the clock still ticking. Can bring it to your ear, but I can't make you listen. Once I found truth, all my friends went missing. They think that I'm distant, so they keep me at a distance. Take heed to the word and leave up off the curb. Learn patience, I'm a waiter and the Father who I serve. All you do is chase bread, that is for the birds. You fighting through the pain, being strong is a talent. Your soul on the line, but you got weak balance. Me, I keep my head up though, and I faster get answers to what I read up slow. Make excuses for your sins, that's the wrong move. When you gon' change, cause you gon' lose. I'm trying to wake you up from your long snooze. This a history book, not just a good book, and maybe you will read it if you knew who it belonged to.
Why won't you hear me, baby? Please just listen to me. Your soul's on the line. Understand I'm trying to save you. You constantly pushing me distant, man. Just listen to me. You treat me like your enemy, man. I'm trying to help you. Why won't you hear me out? Please just listen to me. Your soul's on the line. Understand I'm trying to save you. You constantly pushing me distant, man. Just listen to me. Why won't you listen to me, man? I'm trying to save you.
Targeting the masses, trying to wake you from your slumber. Past the ace passing the plate, receive failure to bring instruction. Trusting faithfully in substance, making our people suffer while we face the repercussions. Aiding the deconstruction, knowledgeable Christians just become atheists and believe nothing, cause they understand it's nothing but paganism in the custom. When your whole world's a lie, you become prone to reject knowledge. We uphold correct doctrine, withholding our flesh hostage. When you expose past the goals and redirects topics you told not to connect logic, then you come to correct ours. Though you Christians walking blind before you just enjoy the ride. Go to Luke 6:39, to Matthew 24:5, trying to wake you to the reality the enemy's destroying lives. Pastors calming our conscience, got us spiritually more deprived, more aligned with the enemy, glorifying this wickedness. You keep them fortified with your ignorance.
I am at list.
Why won't you hear me out? Please just listen to me. Your soul's on the line. Understand I'm trying to save you. You constantly pushing me distant, man. Just listen to me. You treat me like your enemy, man. I'm trying to help you. Why won't you hear me out? Please just listen to me. Your soul's on the line. Understand I'm trying to save you. You constantly pushing me distant, man. Just listen to me. Why won't you listen to me, man? I'm trying to save you.
Listen to me. I'm trying to save you. Listen to me. I'll try to help. Listen to me. I'm trying to sing. Listen to me. I am at listen. 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 I am at listen.
Check this out right here, right? Hey, Truth Music Radio is the #1 hottest source of truth music. Come see what all the fuss is about. Every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we got Zebediah Boaz bringing you evening meditation. Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, DJ Taz 504 of the Zion Speaks Mix Show will be on the ones and twos. 2 Central Standard Time, Buddha will bring you truth, scripts, and world events. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, our sister Ray Chantel will be bringing you Sister Talk. Every Friday, tap in to Truth, Love, and Redemption with Dimitri Miller, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget about me, your op, Brandon Lewis, every Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we will search the scriptures for ways to apply them to life with the Script Talk podcast. All on Truth Music Radio. That's music with a Z, because the Z is for Zion. Powered by the Most High, J Shields Promotions, and Yasharala Nation. Zion, spread the message. Download the app for free on all Apple devices and Android. Shalom.
T1, I'm the wolf that's alone, going hard at the top of the throne. Rock Legion, can you weather the storm and stand strong like the Legion of Doom? I pray that I can weather the storm. Sometimes in life you just don't know where you go. Unknown is this road I'm on, and I pray that I can handle it. I say I pray that I can weather the storm. Sometimes in life you just don't know where you going. Unknown is this road I'm on, and I pray that I can weather the storm. I done seen a lot of things, death. Luckily I got past it. Could have been somewhere in the grave, name spoken in the past tense. A moment of silence give rise to the age of the bastard in the streets with the guns blasting. Grandmama doing flips in a casket. I'm finna go beast, stay till late, but I'm from Middle East where young bodies getting laid in the streets. It's a risk when you go to the beach, boy. Yeah, how the contact, girls get lost, never come back. These cops get off like bandits, then get mad when the land goes savage. Body cams, everything that you saw, the judicial system never seeing the flaw. Paying tax to a government that's quick to revert to the martial law, but that's why I stay southpaw. I've been T1 since South Shore. They claim they be real, but they be silent. Guess they got lockjaw and all. I pray that I can weather the storm. Sometimes in life you just don't know where you go. Unknown is this road I'm on, and I pray that I can handle it. I say I pray that I can weather the storm. Sometimes in life you just don't know where you go. Unknown is this road I'm on, and I pray that I can weather the storm. I will push out
Our high is making me strong. No matter the storm, I will push on. High is making me strong. I'm a fighter. I'm a push on. We can make it through. Situation it may look strong at the moment, but we know the sun is shining again. So I'm fighting hard like I be a Titan. Hey, this is what we do. Yeah, we follow the truth. Hey, know them rules, they gon' show up too. Point up upon the block, spreading out this word. Tell them what it is. Hey, they need to hear this though, and that's the truth. No matter the stars, I will push on, I will weather the storm. No matter the situation, yeah. I pray that I can weather the storm. Sometimes in life you just don't know where you're going. Unknown is this road I'm on, and I pray that I can handle it.
Hey man, what you doing? What you doing? You just gonna sit there, ain't you? You ain't planning on hitting no like button. You ain't planning on subscribing. You just gonna sit there and soak up all the content. Not gonna support. Not gonna spread the message. Y'all to be shamed. Maybe this content ain't for you. But maybe it is. Maybe it's for somebody else. Make sure to follow, subscribe. Life of an Israelite on YouTube and Facebook. Shalom.
All right. Shalom. Shalom to the brethren. I know that was a long little intro. 14 minutes on that thing. You know, we just want to let everybody know what's going on. We got to, you know, we just got to do it how we do, man. But we here now. All praises to the Most High. Thanks to his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Shout out to everybody joining us on Truth Music Radio. That's music with the Z, because the Z is for Zion. Shout out to everybody on other platforms, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe. We want to spread this content everywhere possible so it might help whoever possible. It might not be for some, but it might be intended for others. Might be, you know, this porridge might be just right
for somebody. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I'm your Ock Brandon Lewis, and this is the Script Talk Podcast. And today we're going to be reading from the book of Jubilees, chapters 22, 23, and 36. You know, I be randomly sometimes picking these books that I read on here. Sometimes I do little things to figure out which one I'm going to use. And oftentimes I go to my Facebook memories because I often share scriptures on my page. And just so happened this day last year, I shared a scripture about uh, Abraham's last words, right? And I went and looked at in Jubilees and seen that it's several last words in there. You had you had Abraham's last words to Isaac. Then you had Abraham's last words to Jacob, right? And then you got Isaac's last words to Jacob. So we want to take a look at the last words because in the scriptures it tells you about Jacob's last words to his sons. Well, I got caught up right there. And it was epic, right? So usually when these last words are given, they talk about their lives, they talk about their sons' lives, and then they give future prophecy. So this Boca, this rising, y'all willing, we'll go into these texts and see what jewels can be found in the text, right? What things we can glean from and learn from, and things that we might, as this podcast is all about, apply them to life. So let's get right on into it. Let me get my screen pulled up for those of you joining me on the other platforms. If you're wondering where I got this from, it's two ways of getting it. There is an app called the King James 1611 app in the Play Store. It might be in the App Store as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that the KGV 1611 app in the Play Store has Jasher and Jubilees and Enoch. That's Enoch, Jasher, and Jubilees in the King James Version 1611 app. But for these purposes, I had to go to sacredtext.com. Sacred-text.com. And here we have the book of Jubilees. It says Abraham's last words to Isaac. I think I need to see if I could make these words a bit bigger. Hold on a second, see if I can help y'all out here. Okay. All right. That's a little better. It's a little better, hopefully, for the brethren. For the little brethren. All right. Let's get right on into it. Abraham's last words to Isaac, chapters 21, verse 1 through 25. And in the 6th year of the 7th week of this Jubilee, Abraham called Isaac his son and commanded him, saying, I am become old and know not the day of my death, and am full of my days. And behold, I am 175 years old. And throughout all the days of my life, I have remembered the Master and sought with all my heart to do his will and to walk uprightly in all his ways. Now, I'm not sure what the 66 says Abraham lived to be. Let me Google it real quick. How old did Abraham live to be?
According to Encyclopedia Britannica, toward the end of his life, he sees to it that his son Isaac marries a girl from his own people back in Mesopotamia rather than a Canaanite woman. Abraham dies at the age of 175 and is
All right,
buried
then.
next to Sarah in the cave of Machpelah.
All right, then. I guess the 66 testify to this Jubilees. There are some that don't believe in the book of Jubilees. But it's all right. We're going to move forward regardless. And throughout all the days of my life, I have remembered the Master and sought with all my heart to do his will and to walk uprightly in all his ways. So let's take note of this, family. Let's take note of the mindset of Abraham, right? Because we do know the scriptures called Abraham a friend of the Most High. I think Paul called him the father of faith, or the father of Amunah, the Abba of Amunah, right? So if he's called these great things, and we are called to have Amunah, right? To have faith, then why not take after the father of it? You know, why not take after the one who is called the friend of the creator of the heavens and the earth? What was his mindset? How did he think? Well, it's telling you. He said, throughout all the days of my life, I have remembered the Master. God said his people had forsaken him. We had forsaken his ways. You know what forsaken mean? Forsaken mean you didn't remember, right? You forgot. You know, y'all must have forgot, you know? But this says, I have remembered all the days of my life. I have remembered the Master, okay? And sought with all my heart. See, the scriptures say, seek him with all your heart and all your soul. So Abraham was already on it before Hamashiach ever said it, right? Before Paul, Peter, them, before they said it, Abraham said, this what it is. You know, I'm all in. That's what it means to be all in. It says, sought him with all my heart. To do what? What you seeking him for? What you asking them questions for? What you studying for? It said, to do his will. See, you got to have a purpose behind it. A lot of people, purpose ain't the purpose of Abraham. A lot of people reading just to read. A lot of people talking just to talk. Is it to do his will, though? Right? It said, and, hold on, we're not finished. I don't just want to do his will. He said, and to walk uprightly in all his ways. That's action. Action. Action, 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 action. So we see the father of Amunah got works. Whoa. What was James talking about? What was Brother James talking about? He said, I'm gonna show you my Amunah by my works. If you ain't working, you ain't got no Amunah. Abraham said, I sought him with all my heart to do his will and to walk uprightly in all his ways, right? Verse 3, my soul hated idols, and I have despised those that served them. And I have given my heart and Ruach, we're going to say Ruach there, that I might observe to do the will of him who created me. Why? Why am I going to do that? For he is the living power, and he is Kodash, set apart, and trustworthy, and he is righteous beyond all, and there is with him no accepting of men's persons and no accepting of men's gifts. For the mighty one is righteous and executeth judgment on all those who transgress his commandments and despise his covenants. Do you know what Abraham just did right there, brethren? Abraham just did hallelujah. He praised him. See, This how you praise. You have to acknowledge. Hallelujah in itself is not necessarily a praise, brethren. It's got to be why. What are you praising him for? See, that's what the definition of praise is, to acknowledge one's attributes. See? But then you have to proclaim and profess these attributes. What is his attributes? He is a living power. You know what that means? He's not dead. He's not made of wood and stone. Right? He's not made of wood and stone. He's living. Right? So he is Kodash. He's set apart and trustworthy. You know what that means? When he's Kodash, that means he's not like everything else. He's his own thing. And they say he's trustworthy or faithful, meaning I could lean on him, meaning I could bank on him. You know, they say you can bank on that. You can bank on him. You could put yourself out there. He gonna catch you. He's trustworthy. He's worthy of trust. He is righteous beyond all, and there is with him no accepting of men's persons and no acceptance of gifts. For Yah is righteous and executed judgment on all those who transgress his commandments. So listen, what he's saying is he ain't respecter of persons and accepting of gifts. If you mess up, you gonna pay. That don't mean he gonna bring you to a full end. He'll harm David greatly. David messed up. David paid for it. He didn't bring him to a full end. He didn't take his life, but he paid. You know why? Because he's not a respecter of persons, and he executed judgments on all those who transgress his commandments and despise his covenant. So anybody could get it. Don't think you're better. So a lot of people say, we the people, we gonna get in irregardless. No, the Most High don't work with irregardless. He don't do no irregardless. Irregardless, his word is gonna stand. That's about it. Everything else is subject to change as relates to man, but that's upon man's own doing. Your name's written in the book of life. You could blot that out. You have a certain amount of time to live. You can make yourself not live out your days. Right? Verse 5. And do thou, my son, observe his commandments and his ordinances and his judgments, and walk not after the abominations and after the graven images and after the molten images. You know what that means? Even in Abraham's time, they was doing it. They had statues. They had all these other gods and other deities. Right? So when we think about paganism, when we think about these other deities, fallen angels, right? Other powers that other nations worship, this stuff ain't new, man. This stuff is not new. You got to think. Jubilees tells us that Abraham talked with Noah and with Shem. So this is like soon after the flood type stuff. So this go way back, way back. It ain't nothing new, but the Most High has always said that we shall not be a part of these things. Eat no blood at all of animals or cattle, or of any bird which flieth in the Shamayim. You know what the heathen tell us to do? When you kill a deer, you got to cut his heart out and bite it and drink his blood. Paganism. And if thou dost slay a victim as an acceptable peace offering, slay ye it and pour out its blood upon the altar, and all the fat of the offering offer on the altar with fine flour, and the meat offering mingle with oil with its drink offering. Offer them all together on the altar of burnt offering. It is a sweet savor before the master. You know what the sweet savor is. Now, this is my opinion, right? Nope, my opinion. I believe the sweet savor ain't the meat itself. You know what I'm saying? I don't think y'all is smelling cooked flesh and he like, yeah, things smell good. I think the Most High is pleased with the acknowledgement, right? Not that you got this thing and just, you know, cooked it and ate it, but that you saw this thing, you thought enough of him to give him the first fruits, right? Because before you start eating, you got to do this stuff, right? You give these offerings and things, and then you eat. So I think the Most High is just wanting our first fruits. He's wanting us to acknowledge him before we do anything else, right? So that, yeah. And thou wilt offer the fat of the sacrifices, and and thou wilt offer the fat of the sacrifice of thank offerings on the fire which is upon the altar, and the fat which is on the belly, and all the fat on the inwards, and the two kidneys, and all the fat that is upon them, and upon the loins and liver thou shalt remove together with the kidneys, and offer all these for a sweet savor acceptable before the master, with its meat offering and with its drink offering for a sweet savor, the bread of the offering unto the master, and eat its meat on that day and on the second day, and let not the sun on the second day go down upon it till it is eaten. And let nothing be left over for the third day, for it is not acceptable. And let it no longer be eaten, and all who eat thereof will bring sin upon themselves. For thus I have found it written in the books of my forefathers, and in the words of Enoch, and in the words of Noah, and on all thy oblations thou shalt strew salt. And let not the salt of the covenant be lacking in all thy oblations before the master. Ooh, it's like me. Hey man, listen, people be eating food past the third day. I'm just saying. People be eating that food past the third day. I mean meat, you know. I've done it, you know. So in that matter, you know, I don't know if we supposed to be like freezing meat. I don't know. They didn't have freezers back then, but I'm sure they had some kind of way to preserve that thing if they so felt. I don't know. Something to think about. And as regards the wood of the sacrifices, beware lest thou bring other wood for the altar in addition to these. So this is what we have to know. The Most High wants things done in a certain way, just like we as people in our offices, right? Either as a mother or, you know, as a father, as a employer, as an instructor, as a teacher, as a leader. We expect for our instructions or for our commands to be heeded and to be heeded like we said. So much more does our Father. That's why he's saying, beware lest thou bring wood from the altar in addition. So he's saying, like, it's certain wood I'm about to name. This is what you do, but pay attention and make sure you don't bring any other wood. It's not acceptable. See, key things like the Most High wants things done in a certain way how he said it. When you get into, instructions on feasts and things, it's the same thing, exactly how he said. Did he say it like this? Did he say it could be done like this? If he didn't, be careful, right? Lest thou do the wrong thing, right? Cypress, Daffron, Sagod, pine, fir, cider, savin, palm, olive, myrrh, laurel, citron, juniper, balsam, and of these kinds of wood lay upon the altar under the sacrifice, such as have been tested as to their appearance, and do not lay thereon any split or dark wood, but hard and clean, without fault, sound, and new growth. Hey, listen, man, I think these are characteristics. Because listen, everything in the physical has a spiritual connotation. That's what we need to understand. All right. It was a temple on earth. It was a temple in the Shamayim. There's an army on earth. There's an army in the Shamayim. There's a court process on the earth. There will be a court process in the Shamayim. Right? We're not supposed to eat unclean animals because these unclean animals have unclean characteristics that we are not to take on. Right? So likewise, let's look at these characteristics here of this wood and see, do we need to have some of these characteristics as well, right? It said, been tested as to their appearance. Do not lay any split or dark wood, but hard and clean, without fault. Ain't we supposed to be without spot, without blemish, without fault? A sound and new growth. Ain't we supposed to have a sound mind? Ain't we supposed to be growing in knowledge and wisdom and understanding? Huh? New growth? And do not lay their own old wood, right? That old man, that old person, the one of none understanding, the one of ignorance, the one that walked contrary to the Most High. Yeah. Don't be that one. For its fragrance is gone. Ooh. For there is no longer fragrance in it as before. You started out pure and innocent as a child. Then you grew and became such a person that was contrary to the Most High Yah. And in his kindness, in his favor, he has given you understanding that you might become anew. So it's like, let's not go back to this old thing, right? Because there is no longer fragrance in it as before. Besides these kinds of wood, there is none other that thou shalt place on the altar. Listen, the Most High don't want you coming no other way than those other ways, than being firm and strong. I mean, hard and clean, without fault, sound, and with new growth. You know, he don't want you no other way than renewed, than coming in accordance with his salvation. His salvation was about the sacrifice, the killing of the old man, the dying of the old man, and the resurrecting unto life, unto new life, right? Besides these kind of wood, there is none other that thou shalt place on the altar. For the fragrance is dispersed, and the smell of its fragrance goeth not up unto Shamayim. Didn't he say, if you live contrary, I won't even hear your prayers? I said, man, I'm not listening to your prayers. Observe this commandment and do it, my son, that thou mayest be upright in all thy deeds, and at all times be clean in thy body, and wash thyself with water before thou approachest to offer on the altar. You'll find out that the priests in the temple had these instructions, right? They had to wash themselves, they had to be clean. Approachest to offer on the altar, and wash thy hands and thy feet before thou drawest near to the altar. And when thou art done sacrificing, wash again thy hands and thy feet, and let no blood appear upon you nor your clothes. Be on thy guard, my son, against blood. Be on thy guard exceedingly. Cover it with dust, and do not eat any blood, for it is the soul. Eat no blood whatsoever, and take no gifts for the blood of man, lest it be shed with impunity without judgment, for it is the blood that is shed that causeth the earth to sin, and the earth cannot be cleansed from the blood of a man save by the blood of him that shed it. And take no present or gift for the blood of man, blood for blood, that thou mayest be accepted before the Master, the most high power. For he is the defense of the tube of the good, and that thou mayest be preserved from all evil. and that he may save thee from every kind of death. So let's take a pause right here. Let's take a little pause, and let's get into some music. You know, we on Truth Music Radio. That's music with a Z, because the Z is for Zion. This is Psalms 117 by the Sounds of Sinai. Let's get it.
Praise Yah, all ye nations, for his merciful kindness is great. Praise Yah, all ye people. Strength of Yah endureth forever. Praise Yah, praise Yah, praise Yah, all ye nations. Praise Yah, praise and worship Yah. Hallelujah. Lift up your voices and sing. Give praise when you call him, for he is worthy of all praise. Praise Yah. Oh, praise Yah. Praise Yah. All ye nations. Praise Yah. Praise and worship Yah. Praise and worship Hallelujah. Lift up your voices and sing. Give praise when you call him, for he is worthy of all praise.
All right. Next, we got Make Plan A Work by Rich Life Zamara.
Yeah, J Rich, YG is the movement. Know that. We're raising standards, they raise the skirts. Take a plan B so they don't take on work. My plan A, serve y'all, keep salvation first. My plan B, that's to make sure plan A work. Know that. Raising standards, they raise the skirts. Take a plan B so they don't take on work. My plan A, serve y'all, keep salvation first. My plan B, that's to make sure plan A work. Yo. Either it's get rich or live trying. Maintain my ways, obey and live righteous. Cause this life, it'll zip by us. So I'm here in one state with only one goal. Sip's finest, best to get the Ruach inside us. And keep my lamp on, lit shining similar to Big Dot. diamonds. I wanna fall like the Clem Tigers. At the same time, I know I can't OD, limb bias. So I keep things in the right position. I need y'all to be my shelter. He's my pavilion. Take the deed to my body, please sign the ceiling. And here's the key, you can come move inside this building. Pause, in case you thought we on that funny stuff. Had to cut away all the extra fat like a tummy tuck. And let the inner man get strong, cutting buffs. So the plan is to still a stand. I ain't done it, no. Raising standards, they raise the skirts. Take a plan B so they don't take on birth. My plan A, serve y'all, keep salvation first. My plan B is to make sure plan A work. Know that? Raising standards, they raise the skirts. Take a plan B so they don't take on birth. My plan A, serve y'all, keep salvation first. My plan B is to make sure plan A work. Yo, I got away from milk. Meat got me extra solid. And you can take that to the bank, direct deposit. I put the work in, respect the process. Where can I go from this to Yahuwah? Ain't no second option. The Shalakim said that the days are old. No other Elohim that can say they sold. I'm just an artist crying out, who should pave the road? That's the lane who took half a man and he made me whole. No percentage, so I go the distance. Me without him, it's like this and Tim's in the cold and winter. Over in Denver in the cold December. Or trying to eat a frozen dinner with no oven to stove December. A broken fender on a Lamborghini. Or trying to watch a show on a damaged TV. It look weird. Y'all secure my stance came in breezy. Plan B is to get plan A completed. Look where raising standards, they raise the skirts. Take a plan B so they don't take on birth. My plan A, serve y'all, keep salvation first. My plan B is to make sure plan A work. Know that? Raising standards, they raise the skirts. Take a plan B so they don't take on birth. My plan A, serve y'all, keep salvation first. My plan B is to make sure plan A work. What's your plan B? Gotta make plan A work. What's your plan B? Gotta make plan A work. What's your plan B? Gotta make plan A work. What's your plan B? Gotta make plan A work. I'm gone.
That's right. Plan A is to serve y'all. Plan B is to make plan A work. That's right. Let's get back on into this thing, brethrens. We got a long way to go. What was we at here? Verse 21, I see, my son, that all the works of the children of men are sin and wickedness, and all their deeds are uncleanness and an abomination and a pollution. And there is no righteousness with them. Beware lest thou shouldest walk in their ways and tread in their paths, and sin a sin unto death before the Most High Power. Else he will hide his face from thee, and give thee back into the hands of thy transgression, and root thee out of the land, and thy seed likewise from under Shemaim. And thy name and thy seed will perish from the whole earth. Turn away from all their deeds and all their uncleanness, and observe the ordinance of the Most High. Same thing we call to do today. Turn away from all the deeds of these other nations. But yet I find all we do is take on the deeds. All we do is reflect them. We dress like them, same customs, same mindsets, many of the same beliefs, to be honest with you. Only thing is, we don't celebrate certain holidays, and we add other holidays in. But when you think about it, you know, we do share a lot of the same sentiments as people, quote unquote, in the world. Observe the ordinance of the Most High Power, and do his will, and be upright in all things. Just like he said, just like me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I live my life, to remember the master, right? To do his will and to be upright. So he's not telling them to do anything different than what he's done. He's understanding that he has strived for the right things, right? He's not missing nothing. Oftentimes, we try to put on our children what we didn't do, right? This not Abraham's mindset. Abraham's mindset is do what I did. I did right. I'm talking about I did right. Do that. Do his will and be upright in all things. And he will barak thee in all thy deeds, and will raise up thee the plan of righteousness throughout all generations of the earth. And my name and thy name will not be forgotten on the Shemaim forever. It definitely has not happened. We talking about him to this day. Go, my son, in peace and shalom. May the Most High power, my power, and thy power strengthen thee to do his will. And may he baruch all thy seed and the residue of thy seed for the generations forever in all righteous barakah, that thou may be a barakah on all the earth. See, our gifts, our quote unquote blessings ain't just for us. It ought to be for others. We should share, right? Anything we get from y'all is a barakah, right? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, money, possessions. We're supposed to take these things and increase others, right? That's what he's saying. That thou mayest be a barakah on all the earth. And he went out from him rejoicing. Listen, get past these footnotes and all this old stuff. You don't need the heathens' footnotes. Let's get on into chapter 22 here. That was the end of chapter 21. Now we're in the chapter 22. And it came to pass in the first week, in the 44th Jubilee, in the second year, that is, the year in which Abraham died, that Isaac and Ishmael came from the well of the oak to celebrate the Feast of Weeks. Wow. That is the feast of the first fruits of the harvest to Abraham. Mind you, brethren, they are in the land. I know what they're gonna say. Uh, uh, they keeping it outside of Jerusalem. No, they're not. Abraham had access to the land before. Hebron is a part of Yasharal. Abraham bought that cash money, right? So they was in the land doing these things. I lost my place there. Isaac and Ishmael came from the well of the oath to celebrate the Feast of Weeks, that is, the feast of the first fruits of the harvest, to Abraham, their father. And Abraham rejoiced because his two sons had come. For Isaac had many possessions in Beersheba, and Isaac was wont to go and see his possessions and return to his father. And in those days Ishmael came to see his father, and they both came together. And Isaac offered a sacrifice for a burnt offering and presented it on the altar of his father, which he had made in Hebron. Hebron was also a sanctuary city in the nation of Yasharal. So tell you that they moving and grooving about in the land. What happened was when they got enslaved in Egypt, the Canaanites came and took it over. So that land that they took was theirs already. It was theirs by inheritance. A lot of people don't know that. You know it now, don't you? And he offered a thank offering and made a feast of joy before Ishmael, his brother. And Rebekah made new cakes from the new grain and gave them to Jacob, her son, to take them to Abraham. his father. See, Abraham is a little. Jacob is a little boy at this time, right? Because Abraham had Isaac. He had Isaac when he was about 100 years old, I want to say. Right? So if he had Isaac at about 100, Isaac got married to Rebecca at about 40, right? He got married to her at about 40. So that means Abraham would have been about 140 years old when Isaac married Rebecca. He died at 175. So he had another 35 years to have Jacob, right? Which I believe he did, because if he didn't have him until after Abraham died, that would have made him about 75 years old before he had his first child. I don't think that happened. So it leaves room to say if Abraham lived to be 175, then this story can be true. People say, well, it ain't in the 66. Well, the 66 don't tell you everything. That's why you got to go other places and find out certain things that's not in there. Right? Just like, you know, Chronicles might not tell you everything that Kings tell you, or everything First Samuel and Second Samuel tell you. Sometimes you have to go into the prophets that lived during the time of those books to get other, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, uh, you know, cross reference things. That's all that's going on here. Uh, and he offered a thank offering and made a feast of joy before Ishmael, his brother. And Rebekah made new cakes from new grain and gave them to Jacob, her son, to take them to Abraham, his father, from the first fruits of the land, that he might eat, and Baruch, the creator of all things. So Abraham, in his capacity, is serving as a Kohan of his household, right? Um, it's possible that either Abraham offered them up himself, or he sent them to Melchizedek to offer them up. But yet and still, Abraham is the patriarch to 3 generations. Is that 3? Of his house, right? Him and his wife and they servants, and then his sons, their houses, their servants, and then their sons. I don't know. It something like that. Uh his father, first fruits of the land, that he might Baruch, that he might eat, and Baruch, the creator of all things, before he died. And Isaac too sent by the hand of Jacob to Abraham a best thank offering, that he might eat and drink. And he ate and drank, and Baruch the Most High Power, who hath created the Shemayim and the Arats, who hath made all the fat things of the earth, and given them to the children of men, that they might eat and drink, and Baruch their creator. We're gonna take a pause for the calls real quick, just in case y'all didn't know. We're gonna let you know. On this my phone get to loading. Thank y'all for joining me this Boca, or whenever you might catch this podcast on the other platforms. It is my honor and my pleasure to come before you this rising and every rising in which I might be able to. Those of you joining me on Truth Music Radio, those of you on Facebook and YouTube, make sure to check out Truth Music Radio and all the other great podcasts that are on here. Check this out right here, right? Hey, Truth Music Radio is the #1 hottest source of truth music. Come see what all the fuss is about.
Every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we got Zebediah Boaz bringing you evening meditation. Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, DJ Taz 504 of the Zion Speaks Mix Show will be on the ones and twos. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we got Moshe Ben Yehuda will bring you truth, scripts, and world events. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, our sister Ray Chantel will be bringing you Sister Talk. Every Friday, tap in to Truth, Love, and Redemption with Dimitri Miller, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget about me, your op, Brandon Lewis, every Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we will search the scriptures for ways to apply them to life with the Script Talk podcast. All on True Music Radio. That's music with a Z, because the Z is for Zion. Powered by the Most High, J Shields Promotions, and Yasharala Nation. Zion, spread the message. Download the app for free on all Apple devices and Android. Shalom.
Hey man, what you doing? What you doing? You just gonna sit there, ain't you? You ain't planning on hitting no like button. You ain't planning on subscribing. You just gonna sit there and soak up all the content. Not gonna support. Not gonna spread the message. You ought to be ashamed. Maybe this content ain't for you. But maybe it is. Maybe it's for somebody else. Make sure to follow, subscribe. Life of an Israelite on YouTube and Facebook. Shalom.
That's right. Get her done. Brethren, let's get back on into this thing. We're moving right on along. I said we're moving right on along. Verse 7 of chapter 20, 21 of the book of Jubilees. And now I give thanks unto thee, my power, because thou hast caused me to see this day. I think it's chapter 22, sorry. Thou hast caused me to see this day. Behold, I am 103 score and 15 years. Yep, that's 175. An old man and full of days, and all my days have been unto me peace. The sword of the adversary hath not overcome me in all that thou hast given me and my children all the days of my life until this day. My power, may thy kindness and thy peace be upon thy servant and upon the seed of his sons, that they may be to thee a chosen nation and an inheritance from amongst all the nations of the earth, from henceforth unto all the days of the generations of the earth, unto all ages. Listen, man, he said perpetual. That was chapter 20. Hold on 1 second. That was chapter 22. That was chapter 22, verses 1 through 9. So now we're going to get into chapter 22, verse 10 through 30 of the book of Jubilees. And he called Jacob and said, My son Jacob, may the power of all baruch thee and strengthen thee to do righteousness and his will before him. And may he choose thee and thy seed, that ye may become a people for his inheritance according to his will always. And do thou, my son Jacob, draw near and kiss me. And he drew near and kissed him. And he said, Baruch be my son Jacob, and all the sons of the mighty Most High unto all ages. May the power give unto thee a seed of righteousness. And some of thy sons may he sanctify in the midst of the whole earth. May nations serve thee. He said, some of thy sons. Listen, everybody didn't make it. And all the nations bow themselves before thy seed. Be strong in the presence of men, and exercise authority over all the seed of Seth, serpent seed. Then thy ways and the ways of thy sons will be justified, so that they shall become a Kodash nation. Why is he talking about the seed of Seth? And the seed of Seth supposed to have been wiped out in the flood? You know, maybe they lived on in some sort of way through the serpent, or maybe it's the spirit of Seth, right? The root of Seth, to exercise authority over all the seed of Seth. Then thy ways and the ways of thy sons will be justified, so that they shall become a Kodash nation. May the Most High Power give thee all the barakahs wherewith he hath baruch me, and wherewith he baruch Noah and Adam. May they rest on the sacred head of thy seed from generation to generation forever. And may he cleanse thee from all unrighteousness and impurity, that thou mayest forgive all thy transgressions and thy sins of ignorance. And may he strengthen thee and baruch thee, and mayest thou inherit the whole earth. And may he renew his covenant with thee, that thou mayest be to him a nation for his inheritance for all ages. And that he may be to thee and to thy seed a power in truth and righteousness throughout all the days of the earth. And do thou, my son Jacob, remember my words and observe the commandments of Abraham thy father. Separate thyself from the nations and eat not with them, and do not according to their works, and become not their associate, for their works are unclean. And all their ways are a pollution and an abomination and uncleanness. They offer their sacrifices to the dead, and they worship evil spirits, and they eat over the graves, and all their works are vanity and nothingness. They have no heart to understand, and their eyes do not see what their works are, and how they err in saying to a piece of wood, Thou art my power, and to a stone, Thou art my master, and thou art my deliverer. And they have no heart, these idols. As for thee, my son Jacob, may the Most High Power help thee, and the power of Shemaim Baruch thee, and remove thee from their uncleanness and from all their error. Be thou ware, my son Jacob, of taking a wife from any seed of the daughters of Canaan. For all his seed is to be rooted out of the earth. For owing to the transgression of Ham, Canaan erred, and all his seed will be destroyed from off the earth, and all the residue thereof, and none springing from him will be saved on the day of judgment. And as for all the worshippers of idols and the profane, there will be no hope for them in the land of the living. And there will be no remembrance of them on the earth, for they will descend into Sheol. And into the place of condemnation will they go. As the children of Sodom were taken away from the earth, so will all those who worship idols be taken away. Fear not, my son Jacob, and be not dismayed, O son of Abraham. May the Most High Power preserve thee from destruction and from all the paths of error. May he deliver thee. So be it. Ooh, so be it. May it be upon me also, not only me, but my children and my children's children. So be it. Toda. Yeah. Let's get into some music real quick, because we are on Truth Music Radio, music with a Z, because the Z is for Zion. Let's get into Lorvin's Fear No Evil.
Sometimes I fall short, cause I couldn't hit the mark. No. I've been trying so hard, but the flesh tries to keep me apart from where I should be. I try to protect my eyes from all this wickedness, vexing up the spirit, sometimes they bother me. Besides the still waters, you leading me. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I won't fear no evil. No, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. I run and I stand. For thou art with me. That rod and I stand. They comfort me. Yeah. I will fear no evil. I won't fear no evil. No, I won't. You prepared a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anointed my head with all of your goodness. My cup runneth over. And your favor and your mercy, they will follow me in the days of my natural life. And I will dwell in your house of prayer forever. Nobody knows the valley of the shadow of death. Shadow of death. I won't fear no evil. I don't fear no nothing as long as you walk with me. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You correct me with the rod, and you guide me with the staff. I will fear no evil as long as you walk with me. A redeemer, Yahushua is my helper, and I shall not want. He making me to lie down in green pasture. He's leading me beside the still waters. I will dwell in the house of prayer. I will fear no. I will fear no. I will fear no evil. As long as you walk with me, no weapon formed, no, it will never prosper. They comfort me, guide me. I will fear no.
All right. Shout out to Brother Logan. Now we got our brother Imanan Yasharala with Old Man Down.
That old man was on the block while I told him the Glock, serving that crack to the pain, stay watching out for the cops. That old man was gang, $6 was the flag, extended clip was the mag, trying to cop him a bag. All he ever really wanted was the fast cars, girl swinging on the pole, trying to be a rap star. Reprobate mind, never ever cared for y'all. Twisted fingers up, middle fingers pointed to stars. That old man was a joke, unequally yoked. I snuck in from the back door, put a rope on his throat. 3/4 was the cord, he was crying, oh Lord. I whispered in his ear, go and sin no more. Raised him in the air, jumped off in the water. Then I came out clean, now I am a martyr. Everything that I do is to please the Abba. A higher shore, a higher bar, I'll show you how it's shot.
Lay the old man down. 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 Oh, lay the old man down. Lay the old man down.
I was under pressure. Ministry never quits. I was trying to do better. July 2020 in the mountains of Tennessee with Hebrews from other hoods showing true brotherhood. Now it's August 1st and we just finished this fire lesson. Down to the rivers to go receive a fire blessing. Riding to the waters in a set apart motorcade. I can feel a human like chill between my shoulder blades. Old man needs to be deaded. Hebrews standing on the shore, reflecting on the wrongs I've done before. Confessing that Yahuwah is the power, Yahusha is the master. I went to a king from a bastard. Down into the waters, life flashed before my eyes. Left a dead man in the living waters, now it's time to ride. Praises go up, you know the rest. Ruach HaKodesh in this body of flesh. We let the old man down.
Lay the old man down. We man down. We lay the old man down. We lay the old man down. We lay the old man down. Oh, lay the old man down. Lay the old man down.
Mayday, got soul from the 70s. Effortlessly, I put praises to melodies. Offer these talents and gifts unselfishly. Servitude in my stride and my pedigree. Moves unorthodox, superseding most human logic. A child of the prophets, guided by the holy watchers. All my works are being recorded on the heavenly tablets. I work the tablets, they're my specialty. Disrespectfully, I chop your doctrine like celery. Y'all show me my post, a whole lot. Old man can't knock me off. No, not at all. We bold as lions, y'all cotton soft. Tissue paper, the righteous. We must endure to the end. We get better, repent or get your issue later. Will you be ready when the bridegroom show up? Clean your garment, fill your lamp before we roll up. Lay the old man down. Yeah.
Lay the old man down. Lay the old man down. Lay the old man
Got to lay the old man down.
Lay the old man down. Lay the old man down. We lay the old man down.
Old man down. Got to lay the old man down.
Lay the old man down.
Lay the old man down. Yeah.
Lay the old man down.
Used to bruise.
Lay the old man down.
Got to lay the old man down. Yo.
We lay the old man down.
Yeah.
We lay the old man down.
Yo. Lay the old man down. Yeah. Lay the old man
down. That's right.
Man down.
Kill him.
He who the Son sets free.
Kill him.
Indeed. Still applying pressure. We ain't letting up. Till the kingdom come.
Right.
Man on fire.
Got to lay that old man down. Yeah. Shout out to my Aki even now, Yasharala. He really makes my kind of music. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about your kind, but I know about my kind. Let's get back into this thing. We're in the book of Jubilees, chapter 22. I think I messed up in the bottom part there with that 22, 23. Because up here I got 21 and 22. I'm confused myself about it. Anyway. Chapter 24. I mean, not chapter 24. Okay, this is chapter 22, verse 24 of the book of Jubilees. This house have I built for myself that I might put my name upon it in the earth. It is given to thee and thy seed forever, and it will be named the house of Abraham. It is given to thee, to thy seed forever, for thou wilt build my house and establish my name before the power forever. Thy seed and thy name will stand throughout all generations of the earth. And he ceased commanding him and baruching him, and the two laid together on one bed, and Jacob slept in the bosom of Abraham. Slept in Abraham's bosom. His father's father, and kissed him 7 times, and his affection and his heart rejoiced over him. And he baruched him with all his heart, and said, the Most High Power, the power of all, the creator of all, who brought me forth from Ur of the Chaldees, that he might give me this land. You know how I've been saying this for a while about the Syrians and everything being Shemites. Chaldeans were Shemites. Well, I don't know, because Nimrod was not a Shemite. Nimrod was he was a Hamite. I don't know. Chaldees, Abraham was there. Chaldeans came later to conquer Yasharal. Anyway, brought me forth from Ur of the Chaldees, that he might give me this land to inherit it forever, and that I might establish a Kodash seed. Baruch be the Most High forever. And he Baruch Jacob and said, my son, over whom with all my heart and my affection I rejoice. May thy favor and thy kindness be lifted up upon him and upon his seed always. And forsake not him, nor set him at naught from henceforth unto the days of eternity. And may thine eyes be open upon him and upon his seed, that thou mayest preserve him, and Baruch him, and mayest sanctify him as a nation for thine inheritance, and Baruch him with all thy barakahs from henceforth unto all the days of eternity, and renew thy covenant and thy favor with him and with his seed, according to all thy true pleasure unto all generations of the earth. Torah, so be it. And that is the end of that chapter. Bro, Abraham, Jacob, decrease and corruption of mankind. 21, 22, 21, 22, 26, 21, 22, and 36. Okay, okay. Well, let's get into the last chapter here, the book of Jubilees. The book of Jubilees, chapter 36. 32, 33. Let's get into Isaac's last words. Isaac's last words to Jacob. All right. Joseph's service. 36. Isaac's last words and admonishments. All right. Let's get into Isaac's last words. Chapter 36 of the book of Jubilees. And in the 6th year of this week, Isaac called his 2 sons, Esau and Jacob, and they came to him. And he said unto them, my sons, I am going the way of my fathers, and to the eternal house where my fathers are. Wherefore, bury me near Abraham my father in the double cave, in the field of Ephron the Hittite, where Abraham purchased a sepulchre to bury in, and in the sepulchre which he digged for myself, which I digged for myself, there bury me. And this I command you, my sons, that ye practice righteousness and uprightness on the earth, so that the master may bring upon you all that the master said that he would do to Abraham and to his seed. And ahab one another, my sons, your brothers, as a man who ahabeth his own soul. Ahab is quote unquote love. And let them ahab each other as their own souls. And concerning the question of idols, I command and admonish you to reject them and hate them, and ahab them not. For they are full of deception, for those that worship them and for those that bow down to them. Remember ye, my sons, the master the power of Abraham, your father, and how I too worshiped him and served him in righteousness and in joy, that he might multiply you and increase your seed as the stars of Shemaim in multitude, and establish you on the earth as the plant of righteousness, which will not be rooted out unto all the generations of the earth. And now I shall make you swear a great oath, for there is no oath which is greater than it by the name esteemed and honored, and great and splendid and wonderful and mighty, which created the Shemaim and the Arats and all things together, that ye will fear him and worship him, and that each will ahab his brother with affection and righteousness, and that neither will desire evil against his brother from henceforth forever all the days of your life, so that ye may prosper in all your deeds and not be destroyed. Hey, listen here. Here we got Isaac calling Jacob and Ishmael together and making them swear an oath. He said, there is no greater oath than this oath, right? So let's look at this oath, see what he's talking about, right? Because in 7, he said, and now I shall make you swear a great oath, for there is no oath which is greater than it by the name esteemed and honored, and great and splendid and wonderful and mighty, which created the heavens and the earth and all things together. Now, here is the oath. He's saying, you have to promise this, that ye will fear him and worship him, right? The one who created the heavens and the earth, right? And all things together, right? That ye shall fear him and worship him, and that each will ahab his brother with affection and righteousness, and that neither will desire evil against his brother from henceforth for all the days of your life, so that ye may prosper in all your deeds and not be destroyed. You know, this is to ahab and reverence the creator with all your heart and with all your soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself, your neighbor being your brethren, because he ain't got no business being around heathens. Right? This is the great oath. This is what the whole law rests on. This is what Abraham made. This is what Isaac made Jacob and Esau swear to. We know Jacob kept it. Esau went astray soon as his daddy died. You know, so let's just be mindful of this, that this great commandment, the great two, has been a thing, right? Hamashiach didn't come with nothing new. It's been a thing, right? And if either of you deviseth evil against his brother, know that from henceforth everyone that deviseth evil against his brother will fall into his hand, and will be rooted out of the hand of the living, and his seed will be destroyed from under Shemaim. But on the day of turbulence and execration and indignation and anger, with flaming, devouring fire, as he burnt Sodom, so likewise will he burn his land and his city and all that is his, and he will be blotted out of the book of the blotted out of the book of the discipline of the children of men, and not be recorded in the book of life, but in that which is appointed to destruction, and he will depart into eternal execration, so that their condemnation may be always renewed in hate and in execration and in wrath and in torment and in indignation and in plagues and in disease forever. I say and testify to you, my sons, according to the judgment which will come upon the man who wisheth to injure his brother. And he divided all his possessions between the two on that day, and he gave the larger portion to him that was firstborn. and the tower, and all that was about it, and all that Abraham possessed at the well of the oath, he said, this larger portion I shall give to the firstborn. And Esau said, I have sold to Jacob I have sold to Jacob and given my birthright to Jacob to to him let it be given. And I have not a single word to say regarding it, for it is his. Whoa. I didn't know Esau was so honorable in that thing. It didn't last long, really. It truly didn't last long. And Isaac said, may a miracle rest upon you, my sons, and upon your seed this day. For ye have given me rest, and my heart is not pained concerning the birthright, lest thou shouldest work wickedness on account of it. Listen, man, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? He could have that and everything, as long as don't no wickedness come behind it. As long as y'all don't end up fighting and beefing and all that behind it, we cool. May the Most High Power Baruch the man that worketh righteousness, and him and his seed forever. And he ended commanding them and Baruching them, and they ate and drank together before him, and he rejoiced because there was one mind between them. And they went forth from him and rested that day and slept. And Isaac slept on his bed that day rejoicing, and he slept the eternal sleep and died 180 years old. He completed 25 weeks and 5 years, and his two sons Esau and Jacob buried him. And Esau went to the land of Edom, to the mountains of Seir, and dwelt there. And Jacob dwelt in the mountains of Hebron, in the tower of the land of the sojournings of his father Abraham. And he worshiped the master with all his heart, and according to the visible commands, according as he had divided the days of his generation. I've been seeing something like all of the ancient patriarchs lived in caves, apparently. I know when Jacob traveled, it said he was in a tent. I know when Abraham traveled, he was in a tent. But when they got somewhere stationary for real, they was in caves. It said a man dwelt in the mountains of Hebron. You'll find out uh Enoch and Shem lived in a cave. Uh Esau lived in the mountains of Seir. So I wonder if a lot of these hidden caves that they find in, right? These hidden caves with all these intricate things in them. I wonder if these was some of the dwelling places of the patriarchs. Just a little side note there. 21. And Leah, his wife, died in the 4th year of the 2nd week of the 45th Jubilee, and he buried her in the double cave near Rebekah, his mother, to the left of the grave of Sarah, his father's mother. And all her sons and his sons came to mourn over Leah, his wife, with him, and to comfort him regarding her. For he was lamenting her, for he loved her exceedingly after Rachel, her sister, died. For she was perfect and upright in all her ways, and honored Jacob. In all the days that she lived with him, he did not hear from her mouth a harsh word, for she was gentle and peaceable and upright and honorable. And he remembered all her deeds which she had done during her life, and he lamented her exceedingly, for he ahabed her with all his heart and with all his soul. And that was the one he didn't really even want at first. It said all her life she had never spoken a harsh word, to him at least. She lived with him and did not hear from her mouth a harsh word. So that means she didn't speak it to him. He didn't hear it. So, it's a keynote, man. Sometimes what you looking for, it ain't gonna always be what you might necessarily need or even know you you don't need. Like he wasn't looking for Leah. He wanted Rachel. Rachel died first, and all he had was Leah. And Leah was a sanctuary to him. Imagine losing your first love, right? She died early at that. She died early. And you left with your second choice. It wasn't even your choice, really. It's just a consolation prize or something, if you will. But she done showed herself in such a way that she almost outshined Rachel. It's just a testament to sometimes what you think you want ain't always what you need. That he a hobto with all his heart and with all his soul. So that y'all, that's awesome. That's awesome. So that's the end of that, man. All praise to the Most High. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have enjoyed it. And I hope you got some kind of edification out of it. I hope that it either can help you or it can help you help somebody else. That's what I do this for, to be of aid and assistance, to be one that builds and not one that tears down in righteousness. But may I tear down what needs to be torn down in righteousness, right? That's what it's all about, man. So all praises to the Most High. Thanks to the Son Yahushua Mashiach. Thanks to everybody that tuned in, that will tune in. May the Most High Baruch you and yours and cause you to be strengthened by this message and by any other message in which you might get from me in the Script Talk podcast. Join me every Friday, Most High willing, every Friday, 8 a.m. right here on Truth Music Radio. That's music with a Z, because the Z is for Zion. If you should happen to miss the podcast or whatever, or you'd like to see the visuals, like to see the scriptures on the screen, you could join me on the Life of an Israelite YouTube channel and the Life of an Israelite Facebook page. You also can find it on my personal page, Brandon Lewis, on Facebook. So until next time, give all understanding to the Most High Yah. Thanks to his son Yahushua HaMashiach. I'm gonna close out with Paisley the Hebrew. And it's 12 tribes, but it's one nation. Hallelujah. This is Talk to Him by Paisley the Hebrew.
Praying for guidance and the truth, please, Father God, direct my path, affected by my past. Lost for words, can't express the help like pieces from a broken glass. My thoughts, I try to collect. Though I'm out of touch, I got enough to supply to connect. General and general, give orders to private cadets. Aquadash report, got your eye recognizing the threat. Surviving in the wilderness compared to surviving the chase. Whole different creature like a wild by the side of an X. I'm blessed more than I can expound upon. One night turning that much turn to a life in one night. That life can be taken by one round from a gun. The Bible say time and chance happens to every man. Mesmerized with the Most High's art, fell off like Paul's cataracts, rest on Ararat like Noah's Ark. Don't let no one decide or deprive you of your time with the Most High. Talk to him, take time to talk to him. You gotta take time to talk to him. Speak to him. Lift your hands, close your eyes, and talk to him. Put in work for the kingdom, work for the kingdom. Inside of his will, it ain't a better place to be. I turn toward Jerusalem and send my prayers to the east. Bridges and borders of blue, what's more important to you? What you Sister, you made a great change. I noticed your growth. And you don't even look the same. I noticed your glow. Just showing love like a brother supposed to. All that we go through, I admire that. I thought you should know. It's not to go unmentioned. Prayer we get strengthened. The gifts have been unlocked. Got brothers that interpret visions. The purpose of your soul. The law is perfect, converting the soul. Patience a baby, nurture by control. Not to philosophize. The man of world of his own. Not even the galaxy itself can occupy. 1 Peter 4:7, go and read it. The road we on, it ain't always easy. Please believe me when I say I know. Those tears represent conviction. You recognize your fault. Now get up and dust yourself off. The angels rejoice when one sinner repent. Cause there's so many lost. With his blood, Christ paid the cost. Hey, you doing a great job, don't stop it. So when it get hard, just step inside your closet. You're doing a great job, don't stop it. When it get hard, just step inside your closet and talk to him. Take time to talk to him. You gotta take time to talk to him. Lift your hands, close your eyes and talk to him. Put in work for the kingdom. Work for the kingdom. Yeah. Say you know how weapons not carnal. Fighting in the spirit. Worn out of time, gotta talk to him. Gotta go to the source, gotta go to the power of the Most High. You know what I mean? Communication is the key. Get that quickening, acquire that understanding. Open up that book, read them scriptures, get more power. Wartime, definitely this out. Talk to him.